Hi everyone, welcome to the first clip from my mid-November wrap-up. It is the beginning of November and I finished my first book. I listened to The Boys in the Boat, which is the story of the 1936 crew team from Washington State who were the underdogs from California was supposed to beat them, and they won, and they ended up going to the Olympics in Germany the years before World War II. So Hitler is there in charge in Germany, and these boys are working hard at home. This was a very heartwarming story. This was just an amazing nonfiction true story where you know exactly what the outcome is going to be, yet it just rips your heart out in the best way possible. Thinking about how a lot of these boys, you know, were getting ready to go to war after they finished winning the Olympic medal, and even hearing some of the German competitors, how they were going to maybe go to war for Hitler, and just hearing these stories, the human interest stories of these kids who worked so hard to get where they were. This was during like the Depression as well. So these guys, they were very hardworking to get where they were. Very few of them had parents paying for their college. These were different times where if you scraped and did everything you possibly could, took little odd jobs, you might actually be able to pay for your college, which to us nowadays, it's like you either have to have very wealthy parents or you have to take out student loans that you're going to be paying off for years. With such different times, these were very poor boys, but they were able to work extraordinarily hard to get to college, and then to get on the crew team, and then get to the Olympics. It's just amazing, and I think that you should read it. I did it through audiobook, where Edward Harmon, who was the grandfather for Gilmore Girls, you've probably heard him on old History Channel programs. He's passed away several years ago, but I love his voice, and so it was amazing. I really recommend it. And I am listening to Pride and Premeditation right now. It's just kind of a Jane Austen-ish cozy mystery, and I am just starting today The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon, which is a group read with my friend Dia from Novel Idea. All right, take care. Hello. I have finished two wonderful books back to back. The first one was The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon, and this was a buddy read with Dia from Novel Idea. She suggested this one because she had read lots of Amy Harmon prior to this and loved everything she read. And boy, was she right. I love Amy Harmon's lyrical writing style. So this is, I would say, probably in the new adult genre, because the character was supposed to be 21. It was written for probably a younger audience, but it is a very mature story. So we're not really getting any young person angst or anything like that. There's a young lady who has lost her mother very early on due to the fact that her mother does magic. She was able to do prophecy, and her daughter is a teller, but when the mother passed away, she made a prophecy and said, my daughter will not speak until it is like the right time. And if it was kind of a warning to the father, because the father is terrible, and if something happens to the daughter, the father would die too. So she died at the hands of the king of this kingdom. So basically anybody that's got magic is done away with. The people that are free of magic live. And so she was done away with, and that king supposedly dies, and then the son becomes king. And the story starts when the son brings her, the young lady whose name is Lark, to court. And it is a slow burn romance. And we have some side characters that are very interesting. I don't want to ruin anything. The love story was very sweet. There were some times where it seemed like it was almost going to be too intimate, where it may get too far, but it stopped before it got to the smut level. I thought that it was a very good story. There was no like language, like bad language, cursing or anything like that in the story. There was a dwarf that I adore in the story. So I would definitely recommend The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon. The other one was Cogheart, which is fantasy middle grade. And it was a kind of read along being hosted by Chatty the Mad Chatter and Vanya Silverscribe. And I'm so glad that they did this. I'm a little bit behind them. They're like a couple books in now. I just finished the first one. It's a little bit harder to find this book at the library in the United States. I actually requested that my library buy the first one, and they did. So I will try to read the next one, but it's about a little girl whose father is very good at making wind-up mechanicals, and for some reason his wind-up mechanicals are very personable. They're not robotic, and the father disappears because supposedly he has something missing. They tell the little girl he's dead, and she ends up going on an adventure, and a young boy whose father is a clockmaker ends up joining her on this adventure. There is an evil lady who's placed to be this girl's guardian. It's just an interesting story overall, and I thought it had a lot of heart to it and had themes of found family and you know, kind of touched on be careful who you trust. And I thought it was a really great middle grade. I have no complaints about it. And I would love to let my middle grade age kids read it. So thanks for watching. I am working on reading Fawkes right now, and I will update you with that soon. Hi friends, you remember how I said a couple of video ago that since I've been on BookTube for about 6 months, we're kind of in a long-term dating relationship now. So here you are, seeing me right after I got out of the shower, no makeup on, because November so far has been crazy and I just don't have time. I've had sick kids. I was sick, nasty sick on my birthday. It's just been crazy. But the good thing is I have had so many wonderful well wishes from friends and family, and we're just so loved and blessed. So it's all good. Hopefully the rest of November won't be so crazy. First of all, finished Dracula. Not a fan, actually. I thought I would be. I like vampires. I like suspense and creepiness, and boy, did they do that well. Bram Stoker did a good job there, but I hated how the women, when they were assaulted by Dracula, they were all, no, 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 no. And then he bit them, and then they were all like into it. That disgusted me. And I've heard people say, oh, that's because like, it's talking about how, you know, bold and strong these women are. No, they were drugged, basically. Assault is not wonderful. Assault is not sexy. So, I mean, I usually love vampires and I understand the creepiness factor, but I felt like it was almost supposed to be like a statement saying they love this on their own. They're into it on their own. No, they were assaulted when they were bitten. So that was why I did not like Dracula. I finished Fawkes by Nadine and I loved it. I thought it was an excellent, excellent, excellent fantasy. It is about a fantasy version of the Gunpowder Plot, which was a real thing. And that happened during the times of the plague. The plague here is made into a definite fantasy element, and people in this world have color powers. There are people who think that you're only supposed to choose one color power, and they think the white light is wonderful, but they're against communing with the white light. And then there are people that think we should embrace all the white light and all the colors. And both of these groups have some things that they're not seeing correctly. I love the symbolism. The ending really touched me. So I recommend this one. It's not a perfect one, but I would say it's as close to 5 stars as I give. I'm really picky and I don't really give 5 stars. So I really enjoyed it and I hope that you check it out. Have a great rest of your November. This wraps up my mid-November reads and you'll see another wrap up from me later at the end of the month. Have a great rest of your time. Read a lot. Bye-bye.